Recognizes Mr. Ezell from Mississippi.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate the opportunity to discuss how the Biden administration's failure to secure the border affects not just the states along the southern border, but also spreads through communities in Mississippi and across our nation. Sheriff Lamb, first I want to thank you for your service and your willingness to testify today. As a former sheriff, I applaud the work that your deputies and yourself are doing, and I know the increase in drug seizures has been great and a big burden upon you. However, as we both know, the more illicit drugs that are caught, the more we are missing. Based on your experience, how have the drug trafficking networks expanded their operations since 2020?
They've expanded their operations tremendously. As we heard earlier, one of the members mentioned they were making about $500 million a year. They are now making about $13 billion a year. And they're doing it large in part on taking advantage of these people that are trying to come make a better life for themselves. They are paying cash up front, which is only emboldening the cartels and giving them a lot of money on hand to be able to buy weapons and increase their footprint along our southern border.
Thank you. What action should the federal government take to stop the flow of illegal drugs into our communities?
We should secure our southern border. That includes continuing building the wall where it hasn't been built, increasing the amount of Border Patrol agents we have, increasing technology, turning on the technology that is there that has not been turned on for political reasons. These are all things that need to happen so that we can continue to get back to securing our border and helping these people who are being trafficked and the drugs from killing American lives.
Thank you for that. Unfortunately, fentanyl poisonings continue to surge. In a single year, fentanyl deaths more than doubled in my home state of Mississippi. In your testimony, you call the I-10 corridor that runs straight through my district, and I'd like to hold up this photo of an I-10 seizure in Jackson County, Mississippi, which is over 1,000 miles away from the southern border. Here you can see 29 pounds of mixed heroin and fentanyl, which was found in a single traffic stop. Clearly, border counties are not the only ones affected by this crisis. Does your department have the resources it needs to handle the surges in smuggling and traffic incidents?
No, sir, we do not have the resources. We do the best we can with what we have. We're proud of what we do stop, but there's a lot more that needs to be done.
When you come in contact with a human drug smuggler, how does your department determine where these criminals are heading?
Through a series of questioning, we have a lot of guys that are very skilled at what they do in interdiction, recognizing things that don't line up in their statements, and then we start to work that back and figure out where it came from. A lot of them, as you can imagine, don't like to talk to us and don't like to tell the truth, but we do the best we can to find out where they came from.
One problem that we had in Jackson County, which is still a problem, if we end up taking one of these folks that we've arrested to the hospital, do you have to spend resources and manpower on sitting on that person that's in the hospital?
Mr. Ezell, yes, in the case that they committed a crime, let's say they ran from us and we pursued them, there was a crime, we would have to sit on them until we could book them in. In a case where there was no crime committed, we would not have to go sit with them. They would be turned over to Border Patrol, and Border Patrol would likely take that.
But that would take a man off of his duties on patrol and have to sit in the hospital.
Yes, sir, it would.
Well, thank you for your answer. The Biden administration has allowed the crisis at the border to persist. And as we have shown today, every state is a border state. And with that, Mr. Chair, I yield back.
Gentleman yields.